Today's lesson is about one variable statistics. For the given data, we need to figure out distribution, its center, or how it's spread. We use a frequency table, histogram, stem, and a leaf to show the distribution of a data set. We use mean, median, mode to describe the center of the data. And we also use range, quartiles, box, and a whisker, standard deviation to describe how the data spread. So in the following lessons, we will discuss all these terms. First of all, let's talk about data. Population versus sample. Data means a collection of facts. Population means a complete group. For example, test scores from an entire class, or like players from the whole team. Sample means a part of a population. For example, 10 test scores from a class. We don't take all test scores from the entire class. We only need 10 test scores. That's we call sample. Also, we have qualitative data and quantitative data. Qualitative data that describes something like hair color, like places in a race. Quantitative data, that's numerical information to which it makes sense to perform arithmetic operations like height, like age. We normally use mean, median, mode to describe the measure of a center. Mean basically average, add all data divided by the number of data points. Median means middle number. Put data in order, make sure it's in order. Find the middle number. If there are two middle numbers, we need to add them up, divided by 2. Mode means most often. We need to find data point that appears most often. Sometimes we don't have mode for the data. Sometimes we have 2 mode or 3 mode. That means the mode is more than 1. For some people, they use model value to show the mode. So model value will be another name for mode. The data below shows the number of wet days per month. We need to figure out mean, median, mode for this data. Whenever you have a data, you have to organize that. Either you use table or you list them up from smallest to the largest. Therefore, I have 11 twice, so I do 11 twice. 12 once. Then 13 4 times. 14 twice. 116 and 117. Let's form a table first. We have 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17. This is the wet days. Then we will show the frequency. How many 11? We have 2 11. We have 1 12. We have 4 13. We have 2 14, 1 16, 1 17. For the mean, I use the X bar to show. X bar equals, we need all data added up. How many 11 we have? We have 2. Therefore, I do 11 times 2. How many 12 I have? 1. So I multiply by 1. For 13, I have 4 13. So multiply by 4. 14, I have 2 data plus 16 plus 17 because we multiply by 1. Then we divide it by the number of data. In other words, we can add all this frequency up. 2 plus 1 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1, that's 11. Therefore, we need to divide it by 11. Then we use calculator, get the answer. Equals 13.4. For median, means a middle number. So we use listed data here. Altogether, we have 11 data. So the median number, that means middle number, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then here, 13. 13 will be the middle number. We call it median because there are 5 data to the left of 13 and 5 data to the right of 13. Therefore, median is 13. For the mode, that means appear most. From the list of the data or from this table, we could see 13 appears 4 times. So that's 13 will be the mode. Now let's talk about the formula for mean. That's average. How we get mean from this table? We use xi to show the each data. And frequency, we still use this f. Therefore, we do the xi multiplied by f first. Then we add them up. So we use the sigma notation. We need to do multiplication first, then we add them up. Then divide. Basically, I add all the frequency up to get the 11. So we do the sum of the frequency. This will be the mean, x bar. This is the formula for mean. First, we will talk about frequency and cumulative frequency. Without listing all the data up, you can figure out mean, median, mode from frequency and cumulative frequency table. Frequency means how often an event happens. Cumulative frequency means total of a frequency and all frequencies below it. The table shows the number of children in 50 families. From this table, we know 4 families who have 1 child, 18 families who have 2 children, and so on. For the cumulative frequency, think about cumulative means add them up. You add a frequency up. Therefore, the first one frequency you stay. You keep adding. This is 18. 4 plus 18, 22. 22 add 12, that's 34. Add 10, 44. You add 4, 48. Add 2, that's 50. What's the meaning for cumulative frequency? First of all, this 50 means number of data. You have 50 families. And this 4 means from first data to the fourth data, the value will be 1. For this 22, that means from fifth to 22nd data, the value will be this 2. So from 23, that means the 23rd data to 34th data, value will be this 3. And 44, that means 35th data to 44th data, value will be this 4. And 48 means from 45th data to 48th data, the value will be the 5. And for 50, you check, that's from 49th data to 50th data, the value will be this 6. So how you figure out the mean, median, mode when we have a grouped continuous data? For median, mode are the same as a grouped discrete data, but answers will be intervals, not numbers. Mean is also the same. We multiply the frequency by that x and add them up, divided by total, how many data you have. But you need to find the midpoint of the interval. So the number of total points scored in a season by players in a 25-play college basketball scored were recorded in the table below. How we figure out the mean? That's x bar equals. We need to find a number for each interval. Remember, we got to use a midpoint. For the first one, we need to do is 0 plus 100 over 2. That's the midpoint, equals 50. So this is 50. For second one, 100 plus 200 divided by 2, that's 150. 200 plus 300 divided by 2, that's 250. Keep going, we got the 350, 450, 550, 650, 750. Then I use midpoint to multiply by frequency. So we have 50 times 1 plus 150 times 3 plus 250 times 7 plus 350 times 6 plus 450 times 4 and 550 times 2 plus 650 plus 750, because they both multiply by 1. Then divide. You need to add this frequency. That will be the number of how many players. Basically, they already show here. That's 25 players. You can count, but that will be 25. So equals, we plug in. Answer will be 334. After we figure out the mean, we will figure out the median. Median, that means middle number. We try to use cumulative frequency table to figure out the median. So let's form the cumulative frequency table first. This is 1. 1 plus 3, that's 4. 4 plus 7, that's 11. 11 plus 4, 17. 17 plus 4, 21. 21 plus 2, that's 23. 23 plus 1, 24. 24 plus 1, that's 25. First of all, let's cross this out. We only need the cumulative frequency. So we already know the meaning of cumulative frequency. This means the first data. This means from second data to the fourth data. This means from 5th to 11th data. Keep going. We know this is from 12th data to 17th data. So I write down the meaning for the cumulative frequency. We know altogether we have 25 data. For 25, we divide by 2. That's we try to find the median. So we got the 12.5. 12.5 means 13th data. So I need 13. That will be the median. So where's 13 data? It's from here. Therefore, the median will be from 300 to 400. We write down x greater than or equal to 300, less than 400. Mode, you need to use the frequency. So for the mode, look at the frequency, 7. Therefore, the x greater than equal to 200, less than 300. Now let's talk about box and whisker plot. We already learned this in Algebra 1. So we just go over the concept. Range means maximum minus minimum value. Quartiles break up data into 25% chunks. Lower quartile, we also call the first quartile, first quarter of the data, which means median of the first half of the data. For median, we also call the second quartile. Upper quartile, we also call the third quartile. That's the third quarter of the data. In other words, median of the second half of the data. We have this concept, interquartile range. We use IQR, stand for that. That means the third quartile minus the first quartile. This is a Whisker plot. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points you need to plot. The first one is minimum value. The second point will be lower quartile. That means the first quartile. And we have a median. Then we have a upper quartile. Then we have maximum value. So these 5 points are very critical for Whisker plot. From minimum to the first quartile, there will be 25% data. So from first quartile to median, that will be 25% data. This is a 25% and this is 25%. Let's look at the Whisker plot again. At the bottom, we have this line. This line shows the scale. So you have to show this line when you draw the whisker plot. And we have minimum point, the first quartile, then median point, then we have upper quartile, then here's the maximum value. Now we are given a table. We need to draw a box and a whisker diagram for these results. Well, we need to set up a cumulative frequency table. So we got 7, adding 4, 11, adding, that's 42, adding, that's 83, adding, that's 107, adding, that's 125, adding, that's 132, 134, adding, still 134. This will be 135. We need a minimum value and the first quartile, and then the median, the third quartile, and maximum value. From the table, we can get minimum value that's 0, maximum value that's 9. Median, this cumulative frequency, we know the meaning for each number. This is 7 means from first to the 7th data. 11, that means from 8th to 11th data. And 42 means from 12th to 42nd data. And keep going. I already wrote down the meaning for each number of cumulative frequency. But this 134, the second 134, just ignore that. Because no 8 as a data. So only the first 134 counts. How you get the median? For the median, altogether we have 135 data. So we have one middle number. 135 we divided by 2. You will get 67.5, which means 68 will be the median. So we use this, we can figure out where the 68th data, that's here. Therefore, 3 will be the median. How you find the first quartile? We use this 68 altogether. The first 68 data we divided by 2. You got 34. When you get an even number, that means you have 2 middle numbers that will be 34th and 35th. So we check 34 and 35th, it will be here. And we know that's 2. So we add together, divided by 2, that will equals 2. That's the first quartile. For the third quartile, we do the same thing. You use your median, this 68, adding this 34 and 35 to figure out that position data. So we 68 plus 34, you will get the 102nd data. And 68 I plus 35, you will get 103rd data. So find this position data. 102 and 103 data. That will be between here. So that will be 4. Now let's draw the whisker plot. We need a skew. So we need a line to show the skew. We get that from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, here's 9. We need to plot minimum value, that's 0, maximum value, that's 9. The first quartile, that's 2, it's here. Median, that's 3. The third quartile, that's 4, it's here. So we will draw a box for the third and first quartile. Then draw a line like this for the median. Then I connect minimum and the first quartile. Then connect the third quartile and then the maximum value. This will be the whisker plot.